What is up, gamers? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to the weekly recap. Are you ready to break it down?
I'm more ready than you are.
That's probably true. We hope you guys all enjoy it. Let's get it rolling. And the drama that just keeps on escalating. Last time we talked about TSM and it was spicy. It was Lena and Doublelift talking about, well, it was Dardoch on stream, the kind of expose that went on there. It was a rough road for TSM, and it just got a whole lot rougher. Is rougher's a word?
Yeah, like your dog.
More rough.
Rough.
But either way, TSM drama, no laughing, because this is a pretty serious one. Doublelift has called out Regi not just once, but now twice. At the point of us recording, Regi has responded once, clarifying his position. All of this drama seemingly stemming back to a bit of, I shouldn't even say a bit, an explosion between Regi and Doublelift behind the scenes, this revolving around the sword art deal. I don't think those details are necessarily too important. The main thing here being the things that Doublelift has said about TSM, saying how he wishes they never win again. He hates them. In particular, certainly hating someone like Regi.
It would be a personal pleasure of mine to see TSM never win anything again, because of how shitty they treated the people who brought them everything. I would just say that he made a lot of players cry. You would be very surprised at how many of maybe your favorite familiar faces in LCS legit mental breakdown because of how badly they're getting berated, how badly they were just getting verbally assaulted.
Pretty crazy considering his, I think their boyfriend-girlfriend is a technical title, but that Lena works for TSM as well.
I do believe boyfriend-girlfriend is what they call themselves.
I was like, I don't know if there's anything past that. I'm not sure. But it is pretty crazy. I feel like, and maybe you'll disagree with me, but Regi feels like almost in a similar vein, or he wants to be in the same vein that Carlos is in, where he's like a little bit edgy. He says things that are a little bit out of whack. But the problem here that we've seen is that behind the scenes, it also goes a little bit further and a little bit deeper, where we've had multiple people. It wasn't just Doublelift, right? Like, we've seen multiple people speak out and say, yeah, this is actually a problem.
Yeah, this is very problematic. You see the first initial response of Doublelift, and then you see Regi's extended response on Reddit, and at that point you're thinking, okay, maybe Regi did explain himself. Lena then steps in and says, you are dealing with two guys with giant egos, and it's not his side or that side, which, to your point, this is really weird, because you have an ex and then a current boyfriend, and then you have a boss and a co-worker, and so it's filling her shoes is going to be very difficult. A lot more has been said. Doublelift goes on to call Regi an egomaniac bully, says he verbally assaulted players, and I'm not even done there. We're going to leave it on here because apparently Doublelift says that people privately, as well as he can expect some people publicly, to keep on backing him up and supporting his claims against TSM Reginald. So we'll see if Regi has a response, which Peter, Doublelift, also says he can't respond because he can't win. So the TSM drama keeps on going. It is hot and spicy. What do you guys think about it? Hey, what's a good old recap without talking about the biggest news this past week, that being a merger between Envy and OpTic, the future of which is still up in the air because I am quite confused how two giant esports organizations can possibly be held as Envy and OpTic, but for Call of Duty, they will be OpTic Texas. I think a side story of that, part of Call of Duty, they're continuing the OpTic brand to be the main, I think, Call of Duty brand, not just in CoD, but also in Warzone. You talked about a God Squad being signed as we see the transition of former Envy Warzone streamers, that being Teep and Seb and Bobby Poff, and then of course OpTic lands ZLaner, and they transition all the three other guys, so we have an OpTic Warzone God Squad.
It was a pretty funny announcement video. I thought it was funny, at least because we saw all Formal sitting there and then Scump sitting beside him, and Scump being like, hey, you want to play? And he was like, nah, not with you. You've got scrims right now. And like, I feel like that's such a thing, because when Formal left, he said he was so tired of scrimming and just didn't enjoy it anymore. And so it's interesting to see now, presumably, him transitioning into this creator role, or maybe Warzone competitor role, of course. And so it's crazy to see these big names entering into it. I know we've seen big names in Warzone, but now having an actual org sign them, I feel like is a whole nother level, where we're seeing, obviously, 100 Thieves sign Warzone pros and other orgs, but to have OpTic in the Warzone game too, it's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah, and I know we have other orgs maybe hinting at joining. I think Complexity Warzone is definitely going to be a telltale, whether it's going to be Cloaksy, Symphony, or maybe some other creators under their wing, but certainly when a big brand like OpTic enters Warzone, it is a good sign, and it's good to see them, expanding a little bit of the horizons of Call of Duty and now to Warzone. I think for me, the giant question being is what is Envy and OpTic going to do for future esports or even some of their current ones? You have two brands, and I think by a lot of eyes, OpTic is probably your stronger brand, but for Envy Valorant, they're going to keep that one. But to focus on Call of Duty and Warzone, I think it's a great merger. I hope the best for them in the future. And when it comes time for creators in the COD space, I mean, you got Scump, you got Karma, you got Forma, you got Teeb, you got Seb, you got Bobby, you have now ZLaner. I mean, OpTic is loaded for content. Can they make content really work for themselves?
Which I imagine they will. With with these names, you have to. Each of these guys on their own can make content. Scump himself, yesterday was 150K viewers in a tournament. If Formal was streaming actively, we got Bobby Poff, ZLaner. I mean, even Teep pulls numbers, you know. And so if they can't, then there's probably gonna be a serious problem going on there, I'll say. But the last point I want to make on this is something you actually tweeted about, which is ZLaner getting picked up on this, which is great news because so many people who are like, oh, he'll never get picked up by any major org because he's cheating, and they know that he's cheating, and so there's no shot that he will. And there he is.
Yep, and we're probably going to cut this segment a little bit short, but we would love to talk about Z more in the future. It's very COD-centric, so we'll see if OpTic and Envy can branch out of that, but a great merger. We'll see the future of OpTic and Warzone. The Battle Royale scene has been a pretty crazy one as of late. Of course, over the past couple of years, we look at our most prominent ones, Fortnite changing the name of the game for a lot of esports out there going forward, including Call of Duty and Warzone, which kind of took the throne away for some time. We are now seeing, as of late, Apex Legends out of nowhere taking a rise. We see this every now and again with Apex Legends, but now when it comes time for the top of the streaming game, it seems the best Battle Royale out there is now Apex.
It's crazy. I'm going to look at my phone because I don't remember numbers like some people might, but it was actually number 5 on Twitch for the last week, where it beat out some massive names like Call of Duty, Warzone, and Vanguard, which a lot of people, making a fuss of like, well, that's why, because it was split viewership. Whatever you think. We have it beating Valorant, Fortnite, Minecraft, and then a new game, Lost Ark. That's the top 10. The only ones it's behind is League, GTA, and CSGO, which is a pretty, CSGO is still on top, but it's pretty impressive for it to be continuously climbing, and it's not stopping anytime soon. It doesn't seem like. We saw a rise after Warzone streamers stopped, but to see people still going, I mean, we've seen Nick borderline addicted to it. We saw Tfue finally hit Pred, and he's been addicted to it as well. I think that's a good sign for the scene.
Is Nick still playing Apex even with Vanguard's out right now?
Yeah. He's over COD, pretty sure.
Dude, that's kind of crazy. I mean, he's just so hooked on Apex. That's all he cares about. I wonder if he's going to come back for the new season or if he just doesn't care.
Yeah, but as we slowly approach updates for Warzone, I think we'll see that that fight go back and forth. It is kind of funny because, last week or more than that ago, we talked about the little bit of drama between Nick Merckx and Trainwrecks being apparently banned by EA from Nick Merckx event. So Nick Merckx seemingly addicted as well, alongside a lot of top streamers out there. It's curious because you have some Call of Duty streamers who have now made the switch to Apex. They're enjoying the grind and the rise over there. How long is it going to last? When will Warzone actually be able to take them back, though, when they have updates that actually come out?
Yeah, not entirely sure where I don't know where people will land at the end of the day. I guess it'll depend on viewership, because Warzone will probably rock viewership again once the supposed anti-cheat comes out and people are all playing it. The Vanguard updates hit Warzone, all that good stuff. But at the same time, who knows if cheaters are bad in that game? Cheaters are bad in both games, honestly. And so what game do people have more patience with?
And I would say the more frequent events we've had out there, the 5, the 10, the maybe up to 50K events, the more frequent ones we have every week out there have been so far in Warzone and steadily rising in Apex Legends. I feel like that's where the swing of viewership really follows. When Nick Merckx has an Apex event, boom, every streamer and their mom wants to be in that event. But now with the Warzone updates, the brand new Call of Duty, now here, we're probably going to see a lot more Call of Duty centric events on Twitch Rivals, or whether it be those smaller events. So we might see viewership swing back, but either way, it's great to see Apex putting up a fight, and then Fortnite kind of off in the distance, maybe we'll come back when we see something new over there. But yes, either way, Battle Royale is still very much hot. Halo, we'll see if they have one too in the future. League of Legends making the news, or just after Worlds concluded, this time around for a little Netflix series, which apparently has taken the world by storm. I haven't seen it yet. I do plan on watching it, so I don't want to lead off this one too much, but Arcane taking over the world and the charts.
I'll say there's only 3 episodes out right now, so if you want to not get behind, now is the time to do it. Oh, so on Friday, when this comes out, as of recording, there's only 3 out, so you have some time. But yes, it's been a great show. I watched it. I enjoyed it a lot. But the number one thing that I've seen that's really impressed me is the amount of audience that says, hey, my X, Y, and Z, whoever it is, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, parents, watch the show, know nothing about League of Legends, and really loved it, loved the animation, loved the soundtrack on it, which is a great thing for gaming because we don't see that very often. Most gaming things in the mainstream, no one will watch, and it's super cringy, and people don't enjoy it outside of it. But to see Riot really trying to get more and more people involved is really cool in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that lore-based focus is really, really cool because it has, you know, I might sound kind of dumb saying these kind of things, but that animated culture where it kind of has a lot more viewers, a lot more broader base than if you were to go into an esports documentary, which League of Legends has done in the past and done very, very well. But, you know, my mom watching an esports documentary probably instantly thinks nerd as compared to if someone random watches this animated series and they're like, oh, I can actually get behind these characters, focus on the lore and their stories, which is a really, really cool blend and idea that I hope other games, you know, maybe like Apex Legends will be the next to do this kind of background story. And apparently, according to some reports on IMDb, now the most highly rated series on Netflix. Is that correct?
It was #1 when it was released in 37 different countries, so it beat out Squid Game, which was the real big deal because we all know how ridiculous Squid Game was. And then it also was better rated than any other gaming animated show, and so it's better than we had the Dota show, we had Castlevania, which is based off a game, and we had Dragon's Dogma, which was not good at all. And so it was doing significantly better. I think it had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is insane. It had like a 98% audience rating, and so really well, and continues to do really well. And there's only 3 episodes out, which is crazy. I think that's really smart as far as marketing goes. Riot did a great job. They collabed with like freaking PUBG and Fortnite and Among Us, and like so many different games. And so they collab, they invite all these creators to a real life showing of it. And I think they just did it really well, and they continue to do stuff like this really well.
And the great part about Arcane is the future is literally endless. I mean, they have so much they could actually dive into for the future, so it could be a long-lasting series, and it seems that a lot of people at home also enjoy Arcane so far. The biggest story of this past week, of course, it involves a cheater, and of course, it involves a Call of Duty cheater. Yes, we talked about this a little briefly, but that being a cheater exposed after playing against OpTic, someone that was hinted at maybe being a cheater and still decided to go out and expose himself cheating.
This is Shiv GTK, I almost said G2K, not Shiv FPS. I just want to preface that already once again. And so this guy has been called out in the past a little bit, questioned a little bit of like, oh, it seems a little suspicious. And then he goes on, which Scump warns him to not cheat against them.
There's no chance someone tries to cheat against us though, because if they get caught cheating against us, they're literally chalked.
Yeah.
So like, if you're cheating against us, like you better hide that shit.
Yeah, you better hide it real fucking good.
Or you're gone forever. And you will not come back under any alias.
We will find you.
You will be gone forever if you cheat against us.
And then he does, and you can see the wall hacks blatantly on his screen and his little camera, which if you're cheating, why would you put that little camera there? I don't know. And then he gets caught, and he will probably never be around again.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go and taunt the pros, which have, again, we talked about this in the podcast, there's no anti-cheat currently, but if there's one person or one group of people you probably don't want on your back, it's the pro players, let alone the OpTic guys, to maybe call you out. And even if you're labeled as sus out there, once you're labeled as sus, the entire internet, and because there is no anti-cheat, becomes the investigators of this. You got all of the Call of Duty Twitch streamers who will then start watching you, critiquing your gameplay, analyzing. Of course, all the viewers are going to start clipping you. It's literally only a matter of time once you're called sus that you're either found guilty or continue to looked upon as sus, or in some cases, luckily, you're found not guilty if there's a TO involved that says, hey, it's okay, guys, calm the frick down. Without an anti-cheat, it's a wild, wild west out there.
And so some definitely, I'll call him some huevos on that guy to do that. But he also then goes on to drop a whole list of people who he says was cheating.
Did you just say the guy had eggs?
Huevos, yeah. You know what I mean.
You mean balls?
Yeah. And so he drops a whole list of people that he says is cheating as well and using cheats, which we always say take with a grain of salt. Cheater calling out other people is probably not to be trusted, but just to be like, I mean, that is just so bold to be like, yeah, I was cheating. So are all these people. Screw you guys. I'm out of here. You know?
Yeah, and of course it does make you question the list, but there was no back-end evidence, I would say, for a far majority of those names. And so you're left feeling bad for the names. They're like, what? Like, why are you putting me in there? I almost wish he would have trolled a bit more, because apparently he was just having fun. So keep that in mind. But I wish he would have done more prominent names that were then clearly, okay, he has no evidence or no backing for this list. But yeah, the sinking ship of a cheater then finally exposed. And for the first time, I think maybe ever, or at least in a long time, we see a cheater who gets caught and then tries to just expose other cheaters. So by far the craziest story in Call of Duty this week. As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the recap. We have something coming soon, but we'll see if it does come. Until next time.
We will definitely see if it comes or not. You guys be on the lookout too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.